What's up, veterans, transition service members, military service members? Thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for tuning in today. We are going to be talking about tinnitus changes that are coming. Are you ready? This is big for veterans because tinnitus, it may seem like a little 10% rating, but in the big grand scheme of things, it is really, really big. So I'm going to talk about that and some of the things that can absolutely impact. But before we get going, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, share this out with someone that can use this information. Stay educated, veterans. Make sure that you, my friends, get the education and the benefits that you deserve because you have served. We are veterans serving veterans. So let's get right into it, y'all. Massive changes coming to VA ratings for tinnitus. Okay, right? The VA right now, right? The VBA is considering significant revisions to how tinnitus is evaluated, right? And rated potentially reshaping the landscape for veterans seeking disability compensation, right? The max rating right now for tinnitus is 10%, according to the 38 Code of Federal Regulations. Okay. So the well known 10% rating for subjective tinnitus, the kind only you can hear, may soon be a thing of the past. May. It is not definite. So don't beat me down right now saying you said it's going to be definite. No, I'm just letting you know that it may soon be a thing of the past. Okay. Under these proposed changes, tinnitus would no longer be rated independently under Diagnostic Code 6260. What is a diagnostic code? Each rating, right, goes under a diagnostic code. Underneath that diagnostic code is governed, right, under 38 CFR, and that's where your rating is derived from. Tinnitus has a max rating under diagnostic code DC 6260 of 10%. Okay. So instead, tinnitus would be evaluated as part of an underlying condition, such as hearing loss, which I think is crazy. Ringing in the ears, there's no definitive test for it. Hearing loss is separate. That is, you have hearing loss, you're wearing hearing aids, your auditory threshold meets the criteria for hearing loss, right? That's why you go and take a hearing exam when you do a CMP exam, and that's how that is determined. Ringing in the ears, buzzing in the ears, all of that is separate from being around loud noises, and there's no definitive test for it. And it comes and goes, and most of the time it is continual, and it can cause headaches, and it can lead to other things. So that is a huge thing. Is there's many things that are secondary to tinnitus, such as anxiety, mental health, headaches, things of that nature that could go away if tinnitus does go away, right? Which is crazy because you could secondary those things. If your tinnitus and the ringing in your ears is off the chain and it causes headaches, then you can do migraines or headaches secondary to that tinnitus due to the ringing in the ears, as long as you can prove that, as long as you have a nexus, DBQ, and diagnosis. So that would also impact other potential ratings that could or could not get you to where you need to go, or be the difference of you getting 100% or not getting 100%. But the number one rating right now, and kind of the easiest thing to get, is tinnitus, right? Um, Tinnitus is based off of, I don't want to insult your intelligence, but a low noise, mid noise, and high noise exposure list. Okay. Depending on your job, your rate, your MOS, whatever. If you are around loud noises, that is how that rating is determined. And it, and it gives favorability, if you will. If you were a mechanic or on a flight line, there's a higher probability that you would have tinnitus. Okay. So again, if that goes away, that's pretty huge, not just for the tinnitus rating, but because of secondary things that could come off of tinnitus as well, too. Okay. Um, so I don't agree with it personally as being evaluated as part of an underlying condition such as hearing loss, because hearing loss and tinnitus are separate. But again, at the end of the day, in my opinion, this all comes down to money and stuff like that. So let me just give you a couple of examples. Under Diagnostic Code 6100, a 10% rating for tinnitus would only apply if the associated hearing loss is non-compensable at 0%, meaning it doesn't qualify for a 10% rating, or higher on its own. If the hearing loss is compensable at 10% or more, no additional rating for tinnitus would be provided. Again, if the hearing loss is compensable at 10% or more, no additional rating for tinnitus would be provided. The VA plans to remove Diagnostic Code 6260 entirely, meaning tinnitus will no longer be rated as a separate condition. This is bad news for veterans if this does go through, okay? So let me tell you something. If you already have a rating for tinnitus, you will be grandfathered in under your current rating. So that is good to know. That means that your existing benefits will remain unchanged by the upcoming revisions. All right. Just continue to get care, take care of yourself. Treatment, 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 treatment. I keep preaching on that. Okay. So, proposed changes to tinnitus ratings. The VA has considered significant changes, is considering that those changes to how tinnitus is evaluated, potentially eliminating the standalone 10% rating under Diagnostic Code 6260. This has a significant impact on you veterans if it does go through. If you do have a current rating, like I just stated, you can be grandfathered in on your existing ratings, and you must act quickly if you're trying to file a claim for tinnitus. Okay. So, what is the new VA rating for tinnitus? Again, 10% rating for tinnitus with non compensable hearing loss. Otherwise, tinnitus would be evaluated under hearing loss tables. If the hearing loss itself is compensable, for example, it's rated at 10%. No additional 10% rating will be granted for tinnitus. Okay. Instead, the veteran's overall rating will be determined based on the severity of the hearing loss alone using the standalone hearing loss tables, right? Note to self, tinnitus will only be compensated if it is part of an underlying service-connected condition. Another note to yourself, tinnitus diagnosed in association with other service-connected conditions such as Meniere's disease, TBI, or certain vascular and neurocognitive disorders will not receive a separate 10% rating under Diagnostic Code 6100. Instead, tinnitus will be evaluated as part of these underlying conditions without a distinct tinnitus rating, right? So let's talk about the effective date. What is the VA tinnitus rating changes effective date? The exact date for implementing the proposed VA tinnitus rating changes remains uncertain. Okay, so there's no certain date on it, but fall winter 2024 is the anticipated time frame. So stay alert, stay up to date, listen to this channel, tune in, hit that notification bell for when I do make that announcement. Let's hope that it doesn't come this year. And again, if you need to file, act quickly. After the VA finalizes these changes, there will be a 60-day cooling off period before they officially take effect. So you got a little bit of time. I'm even thinking probably the beginning of 2025 as well too, because we're already getting into the month of September. So what does this mean for you? Act now. Why is the VA changing how it rates tinnitus? The VA explains that the proposed changes are intended to better reflect current medical understanding and practice. I think it's got to do with money. That's my personal opinion. It always boils down to that. Whatever excuse can be made is going to be made. Also, they say current medical research indicates that tinnitus likely results from abnormal neural activity somewhere in the auditory pathway, which the brain incorrectly interprets as sound. Yeah, but look, if I'm around a doggone engine and I'm around gunfire and mortar rounds and all that stuff, give me my 10% rating. Come on, the Mayo Clinic, right, which is probably not the majority of service members, which is a bunch of, you know, doctors, which I'm not knocking doctors, but they like to say that it's usually caused by an underlying condition such as age-related hearing loss, an ear injury, or a problem with the circulatory system. Right. For many people, tinnitus improves with treatment of the underlying cause or with other treatments that reduce or mask the noise, making tinnitus less noticeable. My question is, how do you know that stuff gets better if there's no definitive test for tinnitus? Okay. I guess they must have done a survey or something, which I don't have access to. But, anyways, that's what the Mayo Clinic says. The VA's proposed revisions aim to correct this by emphasizing the medically supported view that tinnitus is generally a symptom of an underlying condition, thereby aligning the rating criteria with modern medical practices. Let's just take away from the veteran already more than we want to and already more than we do. So, will the new tinnitus ratings impact your current VA rating? No, you will be grandfathered in. You will not be affected by the VA's proposed changes if you already have a 10% tinnitus rating, okay? Can you still file secondary claims to tinnitus? Absolutely, you can still file secondary claims related to tinnitus, even with the proposed changes to the VA's rating criteria. Just remember, if you're going to file something secondary, make sure you have treatment in your records, make sure you have a nexus, a DBQ, and a diagnosis, okay? So even if the proposed changes remove the standalone rating for tinnitus, your ability to file secondary claims remains intact, provided you are already service connected for tinnitus at 10%. Remember, vets, you will be grandfathered in, right? To strengthen your claim, it's crucial to provide compelling medical evidence, including a nexus, disability benefits questionnaire from a healthcare provider, clearly establishing the link, the nexus between your tinnitus and any secondary conditions, okay? Look, veterans, you served, you deserved. Take care of yourself. File now and act quickly, right? I don't like these changes. There's no definitive date on it, but make sure that you act quickly. Make sure that you take care of yourself. Don't suck it up and deal with it, because the only one that's going to end up getting hurt is you and your family. I say that all the time. These are potential massive changes coming to the VA ratings for tinnitus. You need to hit that notification bell, stay up to date, stay tuned to other channels such as the CivDiv and other guys like that to stay up to date. As these things come down the pipeline, we will keep you informed. So thank you for your service. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope that this video has helped you. I hope that you get a lot of information about this. Don't be scared about anything. Just get the treatment and get the things that you need so that you, my friends, are in the best absolute position to win your claim and to get the benefits and education and resources that you deserve. Until next time, I am out. Thank you for your service to our country. Peace.